Welcome everybody to the PodAskew Podcast. I am CJ, and with me always is my hetero life mate, Rico. What's up, brother?
What's up, buddy?
You alright there? That's a little low key for you.
I was in the middle of lighting a cigarette. I didn't want to go.
Okay. I get it.
Fucking fall in my mouth, so I was trying to be very careful.
Fucking burn your mouth open and shit. Yeah, no.
I would fall on my dick. No, I don't want to.
Or set your beard on fire, which would be an awesome picture for the podcast. I'm just saying, but still.
Look at how fucking pointy this fucking thing is.
I fucking love it, dude. You look like a badass.
I look like a Bond villain.
A little bit. I'll give you that. We are here to discuss a social... No, not social. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Fuck it. We're here to talk about Ready Player One.
That was an awful fucking introduction.
Yeah, it was terrible. But what are you gonna do? We can't all make gold, man. I don't know. I'm wearing my fucking Mario t-shirt, so there you go.
Look at my shirt.
Yeah, I brought the podcast. So
I brought the awesome.
You did bring the awesome. So, Ready Player One, dude.
So yeah, Ready Player One.
No, yes. Before anyone says anything contradictory, this movie has been out for fucking ever, but I had not seen it till I guess a month ago, and we just haven't.
Yeah.
As we talked about on our last episode, we hadn't recorded in a while because life got in the way for both of us.
Life gets in the way.
Life does get in the way. So I want to talk about Ready Player One because I have some serious praise for this movie, and the internet does not. Surprise.
Yeah, I was just as surprised as you were because, first off, spoilers.
My surprise, my surprise, real quick, my surprise comment was a little sarcastic because the internet never says anything bad about anything ever.
Oh, yeah. Trump's still president.
Yeah, but no, spoilers, you're right. Spoilers galore, guys. We're going to fucking spoil the shit out of this movie. If you haven't seen it at this point, first off, what the fuck is wrong with you? Number two, don't listen until you've seen the movie because we're going to tear it apart. And this is the kind of movie I will say, as my first part of review, is the kind of movie that if it's spoiled for you, it's not going to be as enjoyable. I think for me, seeing all the different Easter eggs that we're going to talk about, because I'm going to talk about all of them, finding them on my own, or at least as many of them as I have, because you may have seen some things I haven't. I don't care if you tell me about them at this point, because I've seen the movie enough that, okay, whatever. But finding them myself was really exciting.
Speaking of not seeing a fucking movie, what the fuck is wrong with you? Have you seen Solo yet?
No. Comes out on September 25th. I'll have a copy then.
You son of a...
Well, it happens. At this point, between some of the conversation we've had, the conversation we had with Matt Granger and Kevin Smith, the movie's been ruined enough that, I don't care if we talk about it, but I still will, and I'll still watch it, and I'm sure I'll still enjoy it, but enough of it's been spoiled for me at this point that, But
we're going to do the respect that Matty Granger didn't do, which is we're going to give him a spoiler, warning. Because we both want him to make sure he sees it.
He didn't. No, let's not dog on Matty Granger because he didn't spoil the movie.
He knows I'm joking because what I said was sort of a jab, but with a lot of love. But we're really trying hard not to spoil it for him because we know that he will fucking love it, or he'll be critical of it. But there are parts that I think you'll enjoy.
And without getting to a whole thing on Matt, one of the things he said in part one of the episodes we put out with him is that he does not like that big, dazzling thing, on screen. So I'm actually curious that he may not like it because of there's so much of that. Now I don't know if he'll look past that to the nostalgia.
I think you'll like one. I think you'll like one part of it.
Oh,
I think you'll really enjoy one specific part of it,
without question.
And that's the part in the part one episode where I called it a wet nightmare.
Yeah, totally. And from this point forward, Matt, we are going to talk about that moment at some point. So we appreciate that you're a fan and that you like the show, but don't stop now if you haven't seen the movie yet. Just hit stop and come back to us later. We'll be here.
Read the 2 hour episodes. That'll fill in some gaps.
Where do we begin with this thing, man? Oh, first off, I don't even know. Where do we begin with this? Because it's a massive undertaking. This movie, while only 2 hours and 20 minutes ish, would you say?
It feels kind of long.
It does, but and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but to me, in the best possible way. Like, I couldn't get enough. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it could have been. It's not on the level of Infinity War in terms of wanting more. What's that? Go ahead.
It's only 140 minutes.
So 2 hours. What's 2 hours 20 minutes? That's what I said.
Yeah. I was just surprising.
But it's not on the level of Infinity War in terms of the magnitude, but it left me wanting more and more of it. Like, it could have gone for 3 more hours and I would have been thrilled. Like, but and the other thing to keep in mind, and I would say I'm more than you are. I'm a gamer. I know you play games and you have your systems and whatnot, but I am the bigger gamer of the two of us. Is that fair?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the fact that you're basically living in a video game world is, I've got a lot I can say. I know you were off air speaking concerned to me about, can we fill an episode with Ready Player One? I've got a lot I can say that isn't just about the movie that ties back. So, sure. I don't know if you want to start or just, because I don't want to do a shot for shot or scene for scene kind of thing. I just want to talk about the movie as a whole. And
I could start a little bit.
Good, because I'm struggling.
First off, yeah, enjoy your beer.
Hey.
First off, I'm enjoying my wine.
I was gonna say I'm not the one drinking box wine, so
boxed wine in a Kettle One vodka rocks glass.
Yeah, there's something wrong with all that. There's just something wrong with that whole sentence.
It's called "My Dad Breaks All the Wine Pots."
Well, there's that too. Anyway, go ahead.
So first off, Ready Player One is based on a book.
Yes.
2011.
Which
I haven't read the book.
Neither have I. No, and I want to put out there, just for me, I'm not going to speak for you. I'm just not much of a reader. I used to be as a child, I did, but I'm not much of a reader now. So that's the only reason why I haven't read the book.
Well, I am a reader, or at least I was more ravenous of a reader when I was younger. And I actually, me and Stephanie are both, with my influence, I've been going to the library pretty regularly now. I've been going
nice.
every other week.
Nice.
And it all sort of spawned when she came into town a couple weeks ago. And I said, let's go out, sit down at a cafe, enjoy each other's company, and just have coffee and sandwiches. And while we're sitting there, we both fall in that classic thing of just pulling out our phone.
Right.
And look at our fucking phone.
Right.
And I said, I'll be right back. And there's a library right across the street from the cafe, which is literally down the street from where I live. And I went to this library, the Rockridge Branch Library, for my entire life. I said, fuck this. It's time for us to read some books. So I went over there and I got a stack of 5 books. And I said, you need to read 2 of these. And they were both Roald Dahls. So I'm trying to get us all back in that habit of reading. Even to the point where she couldn't finish the story. She was reading it while she was out here, and she even took it home. And then when she came back out here for our anniversary, she had to give me the book back, be like, this is going to be due. Please return it. And I said, fuck that. I want you to finish the story. So I read her the story while we were on a Skype call. Just so I'm make sure you get this fucking story.
Oh, that's cute. And I mean that sincerely. I'm not.
This is a book that actually, it is cute. At one point, I read it to her as she fell asleep. I literally fucking read her a bedtime story.
That's disgustingly cute, but in the best possible way.
It is syrupy, sugary, bullshit filled, adorable.
It is.
So what I'm saying is that I've been trying to get back into a habit of reading actual books, not just fucking blurbs online.
So do you think you'll read the book?
But Ready Player One is, not only do I want to read the book, but I will actually go to the library and check it out. It's on my list now. I don't want to be that type of person that's I want to read a book after I saw the movie. but that's sort of where I fall in. Because I didn't read Harry Potter until after I saw the first movie in theaters. Okay. Because it was part of me kind of like, I don't want to jump on that bandwagon. I was still a big reader, but I had no interest. And then I saw the movie. I'm like, well, fuck, I want to go read the book. And my friend, Michael, who we've talked about a lot, I saw Ready Player One. I saw it twice, and I saw it the first time with him. And he had read the book. And he sort of falls in that same category as me. He's like, he was a big reader when he was younger, and then just fell out of it. And now he said, I've heard is great things about this book. And he read it in like 2 days. And
real quick,
so he spoke very highly.
I gotta say that like one of the things I'm a fan of these days, and I don't use it as much as I should, is Audible, because you know how much I like listening to podcasts. So with the Audible, you get that podcast feeling, but you get the story. And I need to do that, honestly, with Ready Player One, because I do want to know what the book is like. I
did that even after I read the Harry Potter books, like, numerous times each. I actually did, someone gave me the torrent for the entire book series, and I had it playing on my fucking laptop. And I would just fall asleep to someone reading me Harry Potter. And it is 100% relaxing.
My favorite one, and I want to get way off our conversation, but my favorite one I've ever listened to was Tough Shit.
That's a good one.
Because it's Kevin reading the book, and he's not reading, like some books, because I've listened to a couple, and some of them they read it word for word, and that's all they're reading. There's no inflection, it's just reading as if you were reading to a child, right? Kevin treated it like a fucking 5-hour podcast, and it was gold. It was awesome. But anyway, what's that?
It was all over the place.
It was, but it was great. Anyway, so like you said, it's a book, and it's been a well-received book, and to some people, I'd almost say a Bible, because it's a book. Yeah. I mean, okay, Bible may be extreme, but certainly like something people are devoted to. I mean, it's got the kind of devotion that a Harry Potter does. You know what I mean? Maybe not to the same number of masses, but the people that are devoted to it are equally as devoted. But you know what I'm saying?
It's only one book, though, right? It's like it's not a series.
Well, he's writing Ready Player 2 as we speak, so I don't know when it's coming out, but he is writing the sequel.
Well, actually, I'm looking it up. Spin-offs and sequels. There's fan fiction stories, a sequel novel. He's working on a sequel, right? But it hasn't been confirmed that it's going to be called Ready Player 2.
Well, that's what he called it on the extras on the Blu-ray. Maybe that's not what it's going to be, its final title.
You saw the extra shit, I didn't. So you actually can participate with all the extra background shit.
Right, and it wasn't somebody else. It was Ernie Klein. It was Ernest Klein, the guy who wrote the book, on screen saying, I'm writing Ready Player 2. Now, he didn't say that that's definitively what it's called, but that's what he called it when he was discussing it. So I don't know if that's going to be the ultimate final title or what, but, that's another issue altogether. It is a geek wet dream.
It really is.
It is from the minute the movie opens and you get that 80s song. I'm trying to think of what the opening song was. I think it was Take On Me, but no, it's Jump by Van Halen, I think. Isn't it?
I thought, no, it's whatever the fuck the Huey Lewis song is.
No, I don't think it's Huey Lewis.
It was a Back to the Future song. It was that it was the Power of Love.
No, dude, I think it's Jump by Van Halen. I'm about to put the movie on, but anyway, that's not the point. You're gonna look it up anyway. But from that minute, and then you see Percival walking on the screen, which is the in-game character for the main character Wade Watts, which I've heard rumors that is a homage to Deadpool.
I think it's more of an homage to the superhero double letter name, like Peter Parker.
Correct, but if I recall, yes, in general, that's where he was going, because he talks about it on the extras, but I think he picked Wade Watts specifically to be close to Wade Wilson. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So, in any event, you see him walking in, and he's got, and I don't. What I'm excited about talking about this with you is I'm hoping I notice some things you didn't notice, and vice versa, so that we can be like, "Holy shit, I didn't catch that." You know what I mean? But the fact that he's wearing the Han Solo belt and gun holster,
yeah.
and then the belt buckle's the fucking Thundercats.
Okay, so you were right. It was introducing scene was "Jump" by Van Halen.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
This is "The World in My Eyes" by Depeche Mode is in it. Tom Sawyer by Rush is in it. That's just for the trailers. Trailer music is "Take on Me." Pure Imagination is trailer. Yep. "You Make My Dreams," Daryl Hall and John Oates.
Yep.
These
There's
are all
a lot of good music in it.
First key challenge at the races. "I Hate Myself for Loving You" by Joan Jett, the Black Hearts.
That's at the race scene. That's a great accompaniment to that race scene. I fucking love that.
And the reason why we're talking about the music, because the music is very integral to the movie.
Oh, it's a character in and of itself, I think.
Yeah.
In this movie.
"Blue Monday '88 by New Order.
Yeah, I hate the 888 classification, but that's my argument about the song, not the movie. So.
"Everybody Wants to Rule the World" by Tears for Fears.
I'm about to start playing clips of all these songs because I just love them.
Well, "You Should Be Dancing" by the Bee Gees.
Yep.
"We're Not Gonna Take It" from Twisted Sister.
Twisted Sister. Yep.
And then everything else is by the composer Alan Silvestri. "Stayed Alive" Bee Gees. "One Way or Another" Blondie.
And
"Stand on It" The Boss.
And to your Back to the Future point, Alan Silvestri did all the music as the score for the Back to the Future movie.
And I think because when you think Spielberg for music, you think of John Williams.
Right, and he was originally who Steven wanted for the movie, but he was busy scoring something else, which what it was escapes me because they do. What's that?
Probably Star Wars.
I don't remember. They do talk about it on the extra, but I don't remember what it was. And so the next choice was Alan Silvestri, and
which makes this like the third movie that John Williams has composed for a Spielberg film. I
think it's the second. They reference it. You're right. It's 2 or 3. You're right. I'm not going to argue that number.
It's The Color Purple. It was Spielberg's first film, Duel.
Okay.
And then it's one.
Okay, fair enough. I don't know enough to make an argument about that, nor do I think it's important enough to argue that point out. But
Dead Man's Party.
What's that?
Dead Man's Party by Oingo Boingo. I didn't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
Dude, there's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot. So, but then
Sweet Dreams.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I'm just getting into it.
So.
All right.
Then they get into the race. It goes right into that race. Well, first off, you see his friend H.
He does an introduction.
He does an introduction of his friend H, and we'll get into H because that was a really cool thing too. But they show H fighting on Planet Doom, and there's literally first off, he talks about what the Oasis is, and it takes you through the different worlds. I will tell you right now, if I could hurricane hang glide, I would do that tomorrow. That looked like a fucking fuck ton of fun.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. I mean, a lot of people, I think, will all agree that, well, on one hand, we are just basically 5 steps away from Oasis. We have already begun the virtual reality too.
Well, yeah.
But I think the message is that, virtual reality is fun, but you got to live your fucking life as well.
Yes, that is the overall message of the movie, and I'm sure the book as well. And I have to agree with that. I do. But all right, so let's get heavy for just a split second, and not nearly as heavy as our last episode. But let's talk for a second about and I remember saying this to Deb when we watched it. For someone like me who has the disability and can't do a lot of the things that I want to be able to do, and to be able to do it in the Oasis or a world like that, I may never leave because it allows me to be who I really want to be.
Right.
And that could be good or bad. I mean, it seems like and I don't know how it translated, but it seems like you could earn real money in there that you could use to pay your bills and all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
You know? So I you know, that is utopia for me, you know?
And I can agree with that. Not to the exact reason for you,
right.
because I don't have your disability, but I can understand just like, you know, fuck, dude, just wanting to like, I don't know, go to a fucking Lego world or even just, you know, bullet dodge like Max Payne or some shit.
Yeah. Or Neo.
Or Neo or whatever. But I mean, because I kept to my own virtual world, which is just movies. So my dad, among others, would give me shit for watching just movies for hours and hours, you know, day by day, is because I was very depressed. So I could understand the urge of wanting to hide in a virtual world, where escapism, where you you could choose your own avatar. And I mean, the main character fucking makes himself kind of look more attractive than he is. Not to say the actor is not good looking.
Sure.
But he looks, you know, he's got cooler hair and he's always fucking with his hair. And I will say that the actress who plays Sam, is that her fucking name?
So yeah, the character's name is Samantha. Yeah.
Her character and the actress look basically the exact same. Like, they look exactly alike.
Okay, so let's talk about the tech for a minute, because I watched a lot of the extras. The extras are almost like 3 hours long. Like, there's a lot of stuff on that disc, and the whole movie is done in mocap. So all that stuff that you're seeing in the Oasis, well, yes, it's digital. It's mocap digital, and it's not. And I mean, no disrespect to someone like Andy Serkis. It's not like someone like him, and then the other actor voicing what Andy Serkis did. This is these guys in mocap suits with the cameras and a whole bit, and did all of their Oasis stuff in their own stuff.
Well, no, that's what Andy Serkis does. He doesn't do the mocap and someone else voices. He's doing the mocap and acting.
Okay, but I guess a better one would be like when Sean Gunn did Rocket, and then Bradley Cooper did.
Yes, that's a better one.
But you get my point. The point is these actors, so their faces are to some degree their faces. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'm sure there's some modification to give the Avatar look, but you know, the general.
But like with what's his name? Ty Sheridan? Is that his name?
I think that's it. Yeah. He played
Ty Sheridan.
He played Mr. Fantastic in that really bad Fantastic Four movie from a couple years back.
No, that's not him.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's Miles Teller.
Okay.
Ty Sheridan, you're thinking of Miles Teller, the guy from Whiplash. He played Mr. Fantastic. Ty Sheridan was in X-Men.
Oh, right, yeah. He's Cyclops.
He plays Cyclops,
yeah. You're right. I got my people confused. Yeah, you're right. My fault.
The other Marvel character. But his character, compared to him looking how he looks, is different. Whereas,
compared to Samantha, yes, I would agree. She's closer to what she really looks like. Because
when they did the whole reveal of what she looks like, and I'm like, because when I was watching it for the first time, I'm like looking at her, I'm like, fuck, there's something about her face, something about her voice. I just know who this is. And I recognized when there was a big reveal of her showing her face, which, by the way, her birthmark, that's one of my only criticisms, is like her birthmark was not that big of a deal.
No, it wasn't. But to someone who deals with something like that, it can be. You know what I mean?
I can understand that point of view, but in terms of birthmarks, it would actually kind of made her look sexier. It kind of looked like Domino. You know, like Domino from Deadpool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I agree. And because we're going to jump around, I actually like that by the end of the movie, she had incorporated into her avatar.
Right.
You know, so.
But I recognized her before even. So what I was saying is that the actress who played Sam, I recognized her because I'm trying to get back to my Wikipedia page, but she was in the show Bates Motel. CJ, have you followed it?
I watched like half of the first season and I just lost interest, but I Was she the chick with the fucking oxygen tank? Was that her?
Yeah.
No shit. I knew I recognized her from somewhere.
Dude, I gotta admit, I got a fucking bit of a crush.
Yeah.
On her, but mostly from her character in Bates Motel, because there's something about her. I was just like, she's like, you kind of want to like take care of her in like a weird maternal way, and like let me be good to you. She's beautiful, and she has her faults, and she's still, despite her disability, she's just like, I have to carry this fucking tank of air everywhere, but I still want to do things, and I still want to live my life. And I think her character I liked more in Bates Motel than I did in Ready Player One. That's not to say I didn't like her character in Ready Player One.
Right. Well, I will tell you, and I'll tell you that we actually do have another guest this week that we haven't introduced yet, and I'll bring that person in a second, but I'm also going to get myself in trouble with this person because the fishnets with the fucking Doc Martens in the jean shorts will get me every fucking time. Every fucking time.
I like how when you were saying that, you were kind of like looking, your eyes were darting back and forth. Like, oh, shit. Yeah, because I'm going to get in trouble. Well, I'm already in the middle of me saying this. Oh, well, it's worth it.
And so that, with no further ado, I will introduce Debbie. We finally got her onto the episode, so welcome, honey.
Hi, now I can finally talk. I've been holding myself there for a second.
Yeah. So go ahead and yell at me, because I know you want to.
No, that's okay, because I have people I like on shows that I would want a free pass for.
Oh, so I get a free pass for her?
If that's the one you want, as long as I can get mine.
I only get one?
Yeah, for right now.
Oh, well, be thankful you get one, dude.
Okay,
yeah, right?
It was killing me. Now I was wondering what that girl was off of. She's off the Bates Motel. Thank you so much, Rico, for that.
You're welcome. And here's the funny thing is that she's actually English.
Yeah,
and her
yeah.
Her character on Bates Motel is from England, but she has an American accent.
Okay.
Right.
And I'm like, why the fuck don't they just make her British?
Yeah, well, I mean, that goes... I mean, if you really want to start splitting hairs, that's like when we talked about Gwen Stacy on The Amazing Spider-Man, and they made, what was her name, a blonde.
Well, because Gwen Stacy's a blonde.
Right, but the actress is a redhead and should have played MJ, is what we were saying.
Yeah, like, why not just pick a redhead, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, same concept. But anyway, so, yeah, dude, but to back to the beginning of the movie for a minute, when they do that race and he pulls out the fucking DeLorean.
Oh God!
I mean, and then when they
what was that? The 1964 Batman.
Well, that car was in there too,
yes.
But the one he drives is the DeLorean.
I know it's the DeLorean, but it's also mixed with the
Well, I was going to get to it. Yeah. So when they pan around to the front of the car and you see the Knight Rider thing going back and forth in the front on the grill, I was like, yes. Now, I'll tell you something from the extras, Rico, that's really interesting is, Ernie Klein, they interview him a lot on these extras, and they go to his house at one point. He has one of the few DeLoreans that look like, it's not a camera-used one, like he bought a DeLorean.
It's a replica, though.
Well, not even, I mean, yeah, but it's self-built, like he bought it, but he took it a step further, so he's got the Knight Rider grill on his, like Percival does.
That's kind of cool.
And
like,
then,
he's like, I'm not just copying Back to the Future. I'm making it my version of the DeLorean.
Right, and to take it a step further, that's not in the movie. He's got the Ghostbusters logo and the yellow and black like checkered line from the second Ecto from Ghostbusters 2 on the side of the car. So it's a combination of like the Back to the Future DeLorean, Knight Rider kit, and Ghostbusters all wrapped up into one. It apparently hauls ass
in car form.
What's that?
It's just an 80s car in like it's like Neapolitan ice cream, but with 80s and cars.
Oh, totally. Yeah. So, but that was pretty fucking awesome. So what do we
the
want
race
now?
Itself was
I actually have a question.
Please.
Okay. So they make this whole universe about where, like, you can be anything you want, whatever you want, look however you want. Now, what character or avatar would you be? If you could be something out of something you've seen or you've...
Well, okay, so the thing that was interesting about the avatars, at least for the main characters, none of them were a character, right? Like, they were their own amalgamation of things. They weren't.
But that's the thing; they could be really anything.
What?
There was two, because there was a part in the Doom planet. What the fuck was it called? Doom World.
Planet Doom.
Doom.
Yeah.
There was a part where one of the characters is shooting Freddy Krueger.
No, yes. I get that. I was talking about like Sam and Wade and Show and Dido and H. Like, none of them.
I'm talking about every avatar you saw or even noticed in the movie.
Right. Well, okay. So to answer your question, and this is something I was going to touch on later, so you just kind of rushed me forward, not in a bad way, but just to something I was going to talk about earlier. No. That's not what I mean. So there's a program out there, a real life program out there that I don't know if it still exists, called Second Life. And it's an online virtual world. It is the Oasis, but you don't wear like the goggles and the gloves and the whole bit. But you go in there and you create an avatar and you live. You can work and earn real money and go to parties and have relationships and the whole bit. And I spent 18 months in that world. Anytime I wasn't at work in my real job, I was there. And I had an avatar, and I had friends. And I spent New Year's Eve at a nightclub in Second Life, at a dance club, and there would be real DJs. There'd be people with like iTunes accounts that could stream their music into Second Life, and they would spin music and stuff. And I did that, and in that world, I was 6'4". I had long black hair, a black goatee. I was tatted up like a motherfucker, and I dressed like Neo 90% of the time. Like, I had the black long trench coat and the whole bit. So, to your question,
Neo's
Dad,
illegitimate child.
What's that?
Neo's illegitimate child.
Yeah, a little bit. But I mean, like, I was like a rocker Neo. But you can, and like in Ready Player One, to tie it back, like, if you remember in the beginning of the movie, like, he's scrolling through things and changes his hairstyle just by clicking on a new thing. You could do things that quickly,
Okay.
And so, yeah, that was me. So I think my avatar wouldn't be like a character, like you were talking about, like Freddy Krueger or on Planet Doom.
We saw Hello Kitty in there.
And you saw like
Blanca,
the Ninja Turtles. No, it wasn't Blanca. It was E Honda.
E Honda, that's it.
Yeah, but you saw the Ninja Turtles at one point. You saw Overwatch. There were a lot of different like known characters. But Rico, you look like you want to say something.
I'm just thinking. I did a similar thing, which was the DC online game.
I played that for a little while. I didn't like it, but I know what you're talking about.
I played it too, and I didn't like it, but I liked the concept of it. And I would probably choose what I made my avatar, which was I was in a sort of a trench coat, leather jacket kind of look, and I had imagine if you combined the Punisher's outfit with a black mask.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was sort of like my helmet was like a black skull, and I had like a green trench coat. It was like a black with like some green. It was like I had like I don't know what the fuck I was. On one hand, I probably would choose that. On the other hand, I would also probably just like, I think there's something honest about me just wanting to be Darth Vader.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was envisioning when you said black helmet. Like
being a Darth Vader.
Darth Vader,
sorry.
Yeah. You don't get a pass for that. You said Darth Vader.
I'm sorry. I'm listening to my dog whine right now, and I'm trying to keep her quiet.
Yeah, the dog is whining like nobody's business right now.
She's used to one of us giving her attention.
Sure, it's not coming up on my end. So.
Okay, good.
Usually CJ's hearing my dog's bark, so it's just an obligatory.
One episode is
how many dogs do you have?
I have 2 German Shepherds.
Oh, wow, they're beautiful
And
dogs.
then they also live next to a dog park. So when he's got the garage door open, you can hear, like, it sounded like a dog fighting ring. It was bad.
That's crazy.
Because all they do is because I'm on the upper floor right now because my dad's out of town. Mm-hmm. And so usually the garage is the lower floor. But they'll just come out and look out the balcony and overlook the dog park. And I realize that all dogs do when they're barking at other dogs is say, "Hey, I'm a dog. Are you a dog? Yeah, I'm a fucking dog."
They really are just talking. We had a cat. Okay, the other day I took my dog out on the porch, and I'm sitting there, and I see her. She's just looking and staring down, and then all of a sudden I hear her go, "Roof!" And I was like, what the hell are you doing? So I grab her real quick and I look down and she's sitting there and there's a cat literally like 2 inches away from her face. They're both just sitting there like talking to each other, like relating to each other. It's really, that's all they're doing is just talking to other animals.
The younger of the 2 shepherds, Sophia, she is always barking at everything. She's always barking at humans and at dogs. But when my cat Dino comes by, she lets out this high-pitched squeal whine that is only for Dino. She's just like,
really?
just like letting us know, dude, you guys see this cat? There's a fucking cat here. And it's like, yeah, Sophia, like, it's Dino. He fucking lives here. My dad loves him. My dad's like, go get the kitty. Get the kitty. Go say hi. And I'm like, get your fucking hairy fucking mutt with teeth away from my fucking cat. Speaking of cat, hi Dino. Come here. Dino's here.
Speaking of the cat, it's already there.
Hi Dino. So that reminds me of a movie we were talking about called Ready Player One.
I think my character...
What is this movie you are talking about, CJ?
Yeah, I don't know, some cinematic thing that made a fuck ton of money. What would your character be, Dev? You did, yeah.
I think the problem with being a girl is that you want to change all the time. Because you always want to be the best at whatever. You know? So I really wouldn't have a defined character. First, like, the first thing that comes to mind is, like, strawberry shortcake. Second thing comes to mind is like tall blonde with big boobs. You know? You never really know exactly what you want. I don't know. Right now, maybe I want shorts and fishnets with Doc Martens.
I might be a big blonde with big boobs.
What's that?
My avatar could be a big, tall blonde with big boobs.
Yo, what's really confusing about this movie, and I noticed this last night. Okay, I forget the guy's name. The real big guy in the movie.
Oh, IROC.
IROC. Okay, IROC is... Okay, he's a guy in the world, and he, you know, when he walks into The Shining, he walks into one of the motel rooms, and there's a naked chick there.
Oh, you're talking about H.
No, that was H, yeah.
H,
not IROC.
okay.
Okay, yeah.
Well, okay, so first, you know, he's like kind of put off a little bit. Then he's like, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go with it. He's about to hook up with this girl. Then he looks over and sees like this decaying old woman screaming at his face, about to slash his throat. But then also it seems like when he finally comes out in the real world, it's a black chick and everything. And it seems like she kind of has a crush on... let's back up a minute, because at one point when he's going on the date with Artemis in the Oasis, and H, before you know it's a African-American woman in the real world, is trying to talk him out of the date and saying, like, it could be a 300-pound guy named Chuck in his, his mom's basement.
In his mom's basement in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And we both kind of got the impression that H kind of had a crush on him, not... You know, even
Percival.
On Percival, not knowing that, even though he didn't know that it was a woman being H. And I don't know. So, what do you think of that, Rico? Do you agree with that?
Well, first off, when I first saw the movie, that was a little clue, and I'm thinking to myself, there's a 100% chance that H is a woman. I thought it was gonna be a little girl, personally.
Oh, kind of like Show is, but a girl instead?
Yeah. I thought it was going to be a little girl being a big... Because the voice is just like, hey, what's going on? You're like, oh, come on. Like, it was almost a little too obvious. But, I mean, like I said, because I rewatched it last night, what Debbie was saying, which was, you know, it just means that H is a lesbian, is how I looked at it. I was like, all right, well...
I thought that too after watching it like the third or fourth time. To Debbie's point about, you know, going in to kiss the girl from the tub, from the Shining scenes.
But there is that point where it seems like, you know, H has that connection where he feels like something for Percival. Honestly, when he's getting ready for the date and he's trying on all the different outfits and he's like, what about this?
That also just could be jealousy of losing your friend. Like, I've been your best friend all this time and now you're putting more emphasis on Artemis, you know, so.
I think it goes deeper. I think H is possibly transgender.
I could see that. That does, you know, I could see that.
You know,
wait, Rico,
just masculine.
just to back up a second, you mean H, the Avatar character, or
no, H, the person,
or
the H, the person?
Okay.
The actual black woman. I think the character is a transgender person, but she can't become a man, so that's why her avatar is a big masculine man, and that's why he responds to a beautiful woman rising out of the tub. Because
we may be putting more thought in this than Ernie Klein did, to be fair.
But I kind of like that.
Well,
like, what
maybe we'll find out in the fucking Ready Player 2 that fucking, he got the change. I don't know.
Yeah, or it won't get addressed at all. It could go either way.
And it doesn't need to be addressed. That's
no, it doesn't need to be addressed.
Now we're a progressive part of the world where it's like, well, whatever. And I don't remember any backlash about that. I don't remember any backlash of homophobia.
I don't either. Like yeah. I think the backlash I kept hearing about the movie as a whole was more that they left a lot of stuff out, apparently. And then also
they
that...
changed some shit, is what Michael told me.
Right. And then also that it was too much of a love letter to the 80s. Like, it was just a giant love letter to the 80s.
But I love the nostalgia of the movie.
So did I.
It was amazing. And anybody that grew up in the 80s is going to appreciate that. I appreciated it because I grew up in the 80s. So looking back on everything that I saw, it was very heartwarming.
See, this is the part where I like to give Rico some shit because he wasn't even born until 2.
Oh, you don't 91. Even know the 80s. You weren't even good, like, in the good decade right there.
I was.
You're a millennial.
I was still calm in 1990.
Yes, you were still calm in 1990. That's true.
See, I'm not a Generation X or a millennial. I fall in the year where it's like right in between.
Yeah, if you look up online the definition of millennial and Gen X, there's like a 11-month period where you're neither, and that's where she falls.
Yeah,
it's
I'm 1983, and we're nothing. So we were just the forgot about year.
You're the lost children.
We are. We're the lost children. That explains a lot.
Yeah.
Did I tell you that I named my car?
No, but most people do. What did you name your car?
The Millennial Falcon.
What kind of car do you have?
It doesn't matter. The fact that he chose something not fucking cheesy, it could be anything. It really wouldn't matter.
It's a 2002 Honda Civic.
And you named it the Millennial Falcon?
Right, because he's a millennial. Not the Millennium Falcon, the Millennial Falcon.
Okay, I get it now. Took me a minute.
It was either that or the fucking Batmobile, so fuck off.
Both are dumb, especially for a 2002 Honda Civic.
Hey, you know what? I'll put a fucking
Honda
Batman
Civic
symbol on the hood.
Anyway,
how do you improve a 2002 Honda Civic? You have to fucking be creative.
You just deal with the fact
CJ
that you have...
names them girl names.
Yeah, I name them all girl names. Every one of my cars has been a girl, except for one.
How many cars have you had?
7.
Let's not get into those stories.
Yeah. Well, I've totaled 5 of them, so...
Did you fucking race on the fucking, race on Ready Player 1?
No,
Did King Kong win?
I just have shitty luck when it comes to cars.
Luck, that's
what it is. You don't get past King Kong, right? That's an official rule.
Actually, I'm going to try the reverse thing next time and see if that works.
Did you? I quoted the fucking movie and I got no fucking recognition.
That's why I gave you the response I did. Jesus.
Fuck you!
You're drunk.
You've had a little too much wine tonight.
Yeah.
It makes me whiny. I'm going to get more.
Let me get more.
The wheels are falling off this one real fast. All
right, back to the whole thing.
Falling off the DeLorean.
Okay, so yeah, but when and then H is driving the Bigfoot monster truck, which I thought was awesome too.
Okay.
But yet they throw love to the different genres of things. So, and to be fair, I didn't even know what it was until they talked about it in the movie, but Artemis is driving Akira's bike from Akira, which is a highly known Japanime.
I thought that was from fucking Tron, because I'm not...
So did I.
I'm not into anime. I am not an anime person in any way. Even to a good point where I've only seen 3 Miyazaki films, and even then it was
Yeah, and I'm not a big Miyazaki guy, but that's a whole other conversation.
I didn't think of Tron, but that is very similar to Tron.
Well, and so and that brings up a point that I want to explore, Rico. And if you want to tackle it later or start now, we can. But like, I feel like Ready Player One is this generation's Tron. I really feel like it can be. Do you know what I mean? And what I mean by that is that. Sure. And what I mean by that, though, is that like Tron was not well received. It's a lot like a lot of Kevin's movies where it ended up being a cult thing. Like it got a following after the fact. You know what I mean?
I think I would agree with that. I think especially since the Tron sequel, what was it, Legacy? I thought because that was
I love that movie.
Okay,
I loved it. I really did.
I was too creeped out by the young fucking looking Jeff Bridges. I'm sorry, that was creepy.
Well, yeah, that part wasn't done well, but the rest of the movie was good.
The concept was fine, but I don't think it delivered. Whereas I think Ready Player One expanded on that possible concept, which is you're in a virtual world, you're playing video games, and what happens to you could happen in the real world. It's just like the Matrix, you know.
And that kind of goes back. And that kind of goes back to what you said earlier about we're not that far removed from the Oasis being a real possibility. I mean,
especially about how people try to fucking escape all the time.
Right. You know, the fact that we're close to that even being a thing is why I think this could be something. Again, it's not it. I mean, as far as I know, it did all right in the box office, right? Like it didn't.
I think it made a killing at the box office.
Right, so it's not like it tanked or anything. It's not like it's a bust, you know. So, but at the same time, like it's getting all this negative feedback online from people who watched it.
All right, so its budget was 175 mil.
Okay,
it made
that actually seems low
for a movie that it was. It seems. I mean, fucking Avengers, I think it was 500 mil.
Well, yeah, but that's because they had to pay like 25 fucking high-level actors.
That's true. So for box office, it made $582 million.
Yeah, so I mean, it made its money back and then some. So it's not like But you know, you got to think about it. Wait, you got to think about it. Let's, you know, you mentioned Avengers, and Avengers made over a bill, right? That's like 1.2, 1.4, something like that.
It didn't beat Avatar, but it was up there.
It's right behind it, I think. Right? Like it's not. We're not talking like.
I think it's still behind. I think it's behind Black Panther still.
Oh well, still that's a good point too. But these movies are making like 1 billion dollars, and you know this movie should have made similar numbers, and it didn't. You know, I mean, it made its money back, so no.
I think it was surprising because I think it was for a Spielberg film, it was less well received than you expect from a Spielberg film, and it made less money than you would expect from a Spielberg film.
Which is a whole other thing altogether, because I honestly think the fact that it gets held up to a quote unquote Spielberg standard is kind of stupid. You know what I mean?
It doesn't feel like it's. I told Steph this. It doesn't feel like a Spielberg film. It feels like a love for Spielberg films, but it's like a fan film. Like, okay, someone clearly influenced by Spielberg made a movie about 80s culture. That's what it feels like.
Sure. Well, and he's totally influenced by Spielberg's movies. You know, so.
But Spielberg purposely kept out a lot of shit because he's like, look, I know I helped influence 70s, 80s pop culture.
Sure.
But he purposely avoided putting a lot of shit in. The DeLorean was actually like a conversation between the author and Spielberg. He said, you've got to put the DeLorean in. And he said, well, you know, it's still my property and I don't really want to put my stuff. He's like, yeah, but you produced it. He said, okay, I'll give you that. I produced it. I didn't direct it. So therefore the DeLorean qualifies.
Right. He basically left out stuff he directed, but it was okay with produced items. Yeah, I noticed that too. And they talk about that a little bit on the extras. Yeah.
I mean, the only Spielberg influenced thing that I could see that was involved was the T-Rex.
Oh, from Jurassic Park.
Yeah. But even still, it was like, could that have been the T-Rex from Jurassic Park, or was that just a T-Rex?
Right, and yeah, there's nothing that indicated specifically that it was the Jurassic Park T-Rex. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, there was no there was no theme in the background.
No, that could have went either way, honestly.
Yeah, and to that point, you're talking about the music, Rico, and that Jurassic Park music. I loved when they're in the the nightclub, and he uses the Zemeckis cube, and for that split second, you get that Back to the Future not music, but the
theme.
No, it wasn't even a theme. It's like the noise they make when he's like when he first gets to Hill Valley in 1955. It's just that it's like a chimes kind of thing, but it's just like ambiance. Yeah, something like that. And but you hear it when he pulls off the cube and activates its power.
It's the jingle that introduces each movie for the Back to the Future. Like when the credits are rolling, it's still black. You hear, and the main reason. I mean, that was probably my all-time favorite. You
might have missed it, Deb, because it's really quick. It's not on long. It's literally as long as Rico probably just did it. It's not something that sits on long. But if you're a fan, you hear it. You know what I mean? And the fact that you missed it is not a thing because it is that quick. It's really the blink of an eye. It's not surprising that you missed it. You know? So.
And that's probably my favorite one of the references. I mean, the movie's full of pop culture references. That's my favorite because it's called a Zemeckis Cube, and it's all about going back to the future, going to the past
back in time.
In a minute.
Yeah.
And I thought it was such a fucking little... that was my favorite.
And I don't know if this is why it only goes back a minute in time, but if you remember, when they first do time travel in Back to the Future, Einstein only goes into the future a minute. Or does he go back? Yeah. He goes into the future a minute.
One or the other, yeah.
But yeah, it's only a minute time difference on purpose. So I'm wondering if that's why they made the Zemeckis Cube only a minute as like an homage to that part of the movie.
Well, hold on. I got the jingle on YouTube. I'm going to put the... hold on.
You remember that from Back to the Future? Like
I do remember that from Back to the Future. I just didn't catch it in Ready Player One.
No, and it was subtle, and it was low volume. It wasn't in your face, so you had to be hearing for it. And the first time I watched it, I wasn't certain that's what I heard either. I actually had to wait till the next viewing to be like, yeah, that's what it was. So yeah, don't.
I mean, I have a couple things about this movie that I'm not sure about.
Okay, like what?
Okay, now, is it that when you are in the Oasis and you make money in the Oasis, that is real money in real life?
They don't really tackle that, I don't think.
But I don't know, because when the aunt gets her gloves back, or when he takes the aunt's gloves, he goes up, the boyfriend, like, grabs him when he gets home, and it's like, I lost everything, and she goes and said, this was our ticket out of here.
Right, but I don't know that he didn't spend real money on upgrades on stuff in the game, or because he lost all his coin in the game, they can't buy the house. I'm not certain.
I think you can convert it. How I interpreted it was it's money you could use the game, but you could also convert it to real dollars.
And that's possible.
Which would make sense because everyone's in the fucking Oasis. How are people making money? They're not working. You know, they could probably fucking. I mean. They even imply like you can go and make $1 million at a casino, among other fucking things at a hotel.
That's true.
And then it's like I remember that guy. They showed one clip where I think a Japanese guy who his character dies, and then he fucking goes berserk and wants to jump out the fucking building
because he lost everything. Yes. Yeah. And I'll tell you that, right, but what's unclear about that part, Rico, and I understand what you're referring to, but, like, was that because he lost all his money in the game, or because he's now flat out broke, period? That's the thing that's unclear.
I think he's flat out broke.
I think you might be right, but I'm saying that they left that area, that
kind
question...
gray. It's very
yeah.
gray.
Yeah.
You don't know exactly what it means and what significance it has in the real world.
No, you really don't, and it's really kind of curious how they... plan to, or what they do.
I would disagree because if you look at all the other characters, like if you look at Wade, he is living in a fucking slum, and a lot of people around him are in poverty. So obviously, there is no real good economy.
Right.
You know, they're not helping each other. So I think they're just in there, you know, looting coins and fucking making their money with their weapons and shit to stylize their character because they want to expand on the avatar because they care more about their avatar than their actual self.
Okay.
But I think that, you know, they're only making enough money to pay their rent and buy food. That's all they're doing because everything else looks fucking horrible around them. They're not pay, there's no city officials fucking making gardens and improving the buildings. All they're doing is just fucking making money to pay for their own bullshit.
I also think, I feel, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I feel like the movie is so much, we are so close to that reality.
Right.
We really are. Like, looking at our, economy and everything that's going on today, with the weather changes, the way the world's going, the way the economy is. Like, honestly, like you said, people cared more about their avatars than they cared about themselves. And it seems like a lot of people are doing that now. They live in their phone. They live in their video games.
They live on social media. That's what it is.
Exactly.
I'm not going to throw names out right now, but there are people that we've talked about in the past that we know on Twitter that's basically where they live, Rico. I mean, we see that all the time with these people, and you know who I'm talking about.
Ourselves included. I mean, we are on social media. We still go out and do our jobs and do all that shit. We still have to make our money in. But, we are both guilty of spending too much time in a virtual world. Maybe not putting on a fucking, virtual reality helmet, but you yourself, you said you were a hardcore gamer. You still are a hardcore gamer. I mean, I play video games, but I'm not playing video games as often as you are. And whether it's video games or Facebook or Twitter or even just fucking watching a movie. We, as a species, have now escaped reality at a whole new level.
I feel like I'm lost in this world because I don't do Twitter. I don't do Instagram. I never have. I honestly look at Facebook maybe once a month. I barely even look at my email, and it seems like I am so lost. On Facebook? What's that?
Is that why you haven't added me on Facebook?
That's probably one of the reasons. You can ask CJ. Like, I don't go on it ever.
She gets the notifications on her phone, but she ignores them. So it's not. But if you
Thanks
remember
for
earlier,
throwing me under the bus, CJ.
Oh, it's fine. I didn't mean it like that. But going back to what I was talking about with that thing, Second Life, like you could earn Second Life currency, and I'm trying to remember what it was called because it had a name. Like it
was just called Coin, wasn't it?
That's Ready Player One. This had a name to it. Yeah.
You're talking about your game you used to play.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second Life. And you could, in Ready Player One, you're right though, honey, it is coin. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what they called it. But in Second Life, you could earn this currency and
Venmo it to yourself.
And then take it and I don't think it was email. I forget how you had to...
PayPal?
No, well, yeah. You had to, not only that, Rico, but you actually had to go to a bank in Second Life and open up an account and link it to your PayPal account and deposit the money in the bank. Like, this was real.
I wouldn't trust that because that would be an easier way of hacking your shit.
Well, I never did that stuff. Because you didn't, you could sign up for free. It didn't cost anything to sign up. And you could get things like clothes and whatever with the in-game currency without ever having to spend real money or link it to your PayPal. So when I did that stuff, and I had a job in there. I did. I had a job that I worked, and I would use that to get myself like new shirts and shoes and whatever, Yeah. But it was a weird thing, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. You had this whole, no pun intended, but you had this whole Second Life, and to Deb's point, that's like where you could use it to make real money, and there were people that, dude, there were real estate agents. I'm not even shitting you. Like, you would go to a real estate agent to buy property in the game.
All right.
Yeah, I mean...
That's like saying, okay, there are prostitutes in the game so you can get laid in the game.
Well, there were. No, I never did that, but I know they were there. So... But back
I would say my favorite currency name is the shit on Lego where it's called studs. I'm like, I collected 1,000 studs.
Well, yeah. Anyway, the coin in Ready Player One it did remind me of that now that you mention that. Like, 'cause I've played the Lego games and you're collecting the studs. I know what you're talking about. And when he was driving through the race and collecting the coin from the crashed racers, it looked like that when it was like collecting into the collector he had in the DeLorean.
A magnet thing, yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of interesting. But Did you play the Zelda games? Were you a Zelda person?
I played one of them. I don't remember what I think I played Zelda on Super Nintendo. But I never,
which is
it was
probably
my
the best
played
Zelda
game.
Okay, I only ask because if you see the keys when he's first doing the thing with the keys, when Anorak is talking about the keys before they ever get into trying to find them, it looks like the keys were a Triforce. The way they come together and they were like circling in front of them. That's the first thought I had, and I would. That's if I got to ask Ernie Klein one question, or maybe Spielberg for that matter, it would be: was that what that was? Was that supposed to represent the Triforce from Zelda? Because I think there's a lot of Easter eggs that are in your face, right? So like the Thundercats belt buckle and the Han Solo belt that he's wearing, and I don't know, like some of the other characters were in there, and the Bigfoot truck, and the DeLorean, and all those things. But then I think there's also some things that are like subtle and beneath the surface, like the keys representing or looking like the Triforce.
I would agree with that. There are probably a ton of Easter eggs that I did not catch.
I'm sure there's a bunch I didn't catch either. To be fair,
a lot of the Japanese animation shit I did not.
There wasn't a whole lot of it. The only two that stood out to me, and I'm not the world's biggest fan, and if we ever get Desiree on the show, I don't think she's seen Ready Player One yet, but when she does, she'd be the best to tell us. But was the Akira bike from the opening race, and then the Gundam that Dido turns himself into during the final battle.
I thought that was Power Man. Or no, not Power Man. There was no, not Power Man. There was a character from like one of those old school Japanese shows. What was it? I thought that's what it was. I don't know. To me, it's all fucking Power Rangers. Is how I looked at it.
Well, no, you're talking about. Are you talking about the one that's fighting the Mecha Godzilla?
Yeah.
No, that's known as a Gundam. Because he even says that. He says, I take the form of a Gundam. And a Gundam is a type of Japanime robot. There's a multiple series of them, and Dev was pointing, forgetting that this is an audio medium, that it's...
I didn't forget. I was just trying to get your attention.
You could have just said it. You are on the show.
I'm sorry, but I didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah, Debbie, what the fuck?
I know. I'm just such a fuck.
But there's a show called Gundam Wing. And it's one of the variations of the Gundam stories, and I'm a huge fan of that. And I bought the whole series. What was that? Back in December, honey?
Yeah, that was around Christmas.
Yeah, I got the whole series on Blu-ray.
I'm just not a fan of that Gundam style.
Now, what is our feeling on what is it? The Sixers?
Oh, the Sixers. Well, that was just what they called the Gunters run by that IOI company.
No, the whole corporation, the whole franchise.
Well, no, the franchise was called IOI, but
yes.
the people that they were using to hunt for the egg was called the Gunters or the
Sixers.
Sixers. Yeah. So what do you mean? What do we think of them? Like, what do you mean?
Okay. Oh God, where was I going with this?
What, you're not paying attention either? Come on.
No, I'm paying attention. But honestly, I mean, so they said, you know what? You got to delete this part.
No, this is what we do.
This is what we do.
All right, so we got a bunch of people that go into a corporation and are looking for the Easter egg.
Well, they're getting paid, buddy. That's their job, is to be Gunters. Yeah.
So we actually took an Oasis, and then we made a corporation that actually works in the Oasis.
No. IOI is a separate company. So the Oasis is owned by...
I'm not saying the Oasis made a corporation.
Well, that's what it sounded like you said. Isn't that how you took it, Rico? Or did you take it differently?
I took it how she meant it. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm following.
Okay. So we got
drunk.
A corporation that makes... I'm so sorry. All right.
I'm not.
I'm so scatterbrained now. You guys got me so confused.
Why? So you were saying that the company is a company with... The way you said it was...
That works within the Oasis.
Yes.
Trying to find the Easter egg.
Correct.
Okay,
yes.
So we got a bunch of nameless avatars
Yes.
that are just like IOI.
Right.
That
well,
work within.
they're not. They're not. They're nameless in a sense that
They're
they're
numbered.
not called. They're not called Percival or Artemis or whatever. But they're numbered. Their avatar name is 66537 or
Okay.
whatever number.
Just think of how I thought of it was they were just stormtroopers.
They were. Yeah. They're basically
That's a
stormtroopers.
really good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm here for.
Thankfully, you're here for something.
I'm so sorry on that question. I was a little
I'm kidding.
confused about it, and that's what I wanted to know from you guys. I wanted your feedback.
Well, what do you want to know? Like, just that. What?
Like, how did it work? I mean, they were just nameless. They were just a bunch of avatars that looked exactly the same with IOI on their face, and that's it.
Right, and to Rico's point, all kidding aside, it's essentially what they were. They were stormtroopers with the single goal of finding the Easter egg for Nolan, whatever the fuck his name was.
Nolan Sorrento.
Sorrento, that's it. Thank you.
Which is the most that was a great villain name.
Yeah, right.
It actually is.
I kind of wonder.
I'll give you I'll give you the best analogy for what you're saying, Debbie.
Okay.
All those people looking for the Easter egg, they are all the workers trying to find Veruca Salt's golden ticket in that factory.
That's a good one, too.
That is a really good one. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I need to get drunk more. I'm becoming smarter.
Are you really that drunk? You're not coming across that drunk.
Dude, I had one bagel to eat today.
Well, why are you drinking then? What the fuck?
Because it's my fucking days off.
All right, well then, what?
Nobody needs to drink on their days off. You don't have to.
I'm drinking now because I have to go. It's my niece's second birthday tomorrow, and they expected me to be there at 11 a.m., so I'm going to do my drinking now.
Well, today was my daughter's birthday, so that's not an excuse.
You look puzzled, Rico.
How many kids do you have?
2.
Oh, that's why I was puzzled. I knew you had one. I didn't know you had another. Well,
he only knew about Gabriel.
Oh, yes, I have 2 children. I have a son and I have a daughter.
Well, fucking Mazel Tov. Happy birthday. What's your daughter's name?
Autumn Lee.
Happy birthday, Autumn Lee.
Thank you.
Anyway, yeah, but that's to your question originally, Rico. Stop. To your question originally, Deb, that was where it's basically a bunch of nameless people trying to get this Easter egg so that Nolan can execute his plan to be able to sell that screen space.
But it also goes back to what I was saying earlier. Is the coin money? Is it currency in the real world? Are they getting paid by coin? Or are they not? Are they getting real money?
I don't think that's really addressed. Not saying that there's something wrong with your question, but I don't think it really touched on that. But what his goal was to then sell screen space to outside advertisers, and that was his ultimate goal. Okay. Remember that scene when he's in with the boardroom and he's like, we're going to be able to sell like 80% of your viewing space. Mm-hmm. So he would and none of the major companies that we know were on there, but it would be like if we were playing Oasis and you had this Nike ad in the top right corner the whole time. And like a Starbucks over in the left side, and Under Armour over here. I don't know, whatever. That's what he was trying to do because what's his face? What was that guy that created it in fucking place, Rico?
Fuck.
Shit. Halliday. I don't remember his first name, but Halliday had a rule about selling advertising in the Oasis about you can't do it. And so he even
he didn't like rules, period.
Well, he didn't like rules, right. But the rules he did have was you can't sell advertising in the Oasis. So what Nolan wanted to do was once he got control, because he would have had control of the game at that point, is he was going to roll back that rule and sell all this space off so that when you're playing the game, you'd have all these ads in your field of vision.
Can I be critical for 1 second?
Go ahead.
Of who?
Whatever the fuck I want to talk about.
All right.
I did not think... I didn't understand all the praise for Mark Rylance, the guy who played Halliday.
Oh, okay.
The guy... He just... I didn't like his interpretation. Now, bear in mind, I haven't read the book. He could be fucking spot on for all I know. What I really liked was Simon Pegg's character.
Yeah. Well, I like them both.
Like, fuck, I kind of want Simon Pegg to fucking...
No, which one was he?
He was the
other old guy.
He was the blonde guy that ended up marrying Holiday's date.
Yes, that's exactly who that was, yeah.
What a fucking, like cock blocker that guy was. Jesus.
Well, a tool?
No, look, you know what, man? I get what you're saying, but, like, if Holiday wasn't going to make the move and it was dead on arrival, I don't know that I can blame him for that.
But honestly, it's like bros before hoes. Like, you don't...
Right,
step...
Right, but Percival or Wade, whatever you want to call him, makes a point about this. Or talking when they show this scene, trying to figure out what leads into the Shining part. He goes, because he says,
what's her name? Catherine.
Kira,
that's it.
Or I think her real name was Karen, but her avatar was Kira.
Okay.
Kira. It was Kira because it was very similar to Key.
Right.
That's why I was like, she was the key to the whole fucking thing.
She was, totally. But when he's explaining to Artemis that Holiday went on a date with her, he said, because she says, what? Ogden Morrow's wife? And he goes, yeah, but it was years before she married Ogden. Or before she married Morrow, I think is how he phrased it. So, years passed between that one date and the time that Ogden ends up with her. Like, this isn't like they went on a date and it failed and the next day she's going out with Ogden. Like, I think a good chunk of time passed. And to your point, Deb, about bros before hoes.
But obviously Holiday still had feelings for her.
Right, but he didn't express that. So this is what I was about to say. Like, I used to have a friend that I'm not tight with anymore. But we used to kind of have this rule that we were honestly, we were a little cocky because we were 17 and whatnot. But we would say, like, if you couldn't date me, the next best thing or equal to is dating him. So we kind of used to have this rule that he shot down the toilet a couple times where if he was into somebody and I was into the same girl and I wanted to make a move and he wasn't going to do it, I still needed to go to him and get his permission. And if I didn't get the green light from him, then she was off limits. We don't know that didn't happen.
No, I completely respect that because I've had a girlfriend that actually dated the same guy I dated like 2 years after I dated him and came to me and was like, is it okay?
Okay.
And I was like, yes, absolutely. I have no feelings. You can go for it.
Well, I've been on the other side of that as well because I had a friend who dated a girl, and I think they made a fine couple, but I thought she and I had more in common. Okay. And I asked my friend, I'm like, he was done with the relationship. He's like, dude, go for it, whatever. I think you guys will make a better couple. And I, started flirting with her, and she said to me, like, Rico, I'm not a fucking prize. Like, I'm not a fucking thing that you and your friend can haggle over.
I had that happen.
That actually happened with a friend of mine too.
That happened to me personally.
Yeah, so I got the other spectrum of that, which was like, just because you think we have a lot in common doesn't necessarily mean I want you. I'm not a fucking
item
you can just take
like to pass pieces around.
Yeah, I'm not a trophy.
Exactly. I've had the same thing happen. I was dating a guy, and his friend really liked me. And he ended up saying to me, like, look, I think we should end things because my bro wants to take a chance with you. And I said the same thing. I'm not an item. I'm not a possession.
But that's slightly different because your friend didn't end the relationship so you could date her, did he? It was already over to begin with.
No, it really got shitty because at the time, he's grown since then. But at the time, he didn't know how to end it and he was done with it. He got bored, and that was the truth. And okay. He sort of like I sort of half offered and he sort of half asked me to break them up for him.
He kind of like gave you the leeway to end it for him.
And that's different than my example. My example was that, if it was me and my friend, once one of us dated her, it was a little bit different. But like if we were just both interested, neither of us had made the move yet. Do you know what I mean? That's how it kind of would be. But
maybe they'll reveal in fucking Ready Player 2. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? But to your point about the actor and the character, like, listen, man, I know some programmers. I know some game programmers. And some of them, dude, that's spot on to a game programmer. Some of them are that awkward. Some of them are that, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying that to disrespect these people because it's just who they are. You know,
Sure.
they're socially awkward. Not all of them, and some of them are perfectly fine. And the guys that are socially awkward are fine with that. They know who they are and they're okay. They're comfortable in that skin. So I think it was pretty accurate. I mean, you may not have liked it because he kind of got the short end of the stick, but he also made a shitty move with Ogden when he basically forced him out of the company. Like, that was a shitty fucking thing to do. And it brings it to you what you guys have been talking about, and myself as well. It brings up the point of, is that why he did it? Because he ended up marrying Karen.
I think that's exactly why he did it.
But it never gets said.
It
and
never
that's
gets
the
said,
thing.
but that's my personal opinion.
And I'm not saying that you're wrong.
I agree with Debbie, actually. Yeah, I agree with her.
I agree with both of you. I think it's probably why it happened.
What was her name? Kira? And what was up with Kira? Why was she bouncing from one guy to the next partner?
Because
why did she step in between that?
Well, I almost wonder if she didn't view it as a date. Because I've been on plenty of things where I thought it was a date and I was wrong. So.
Well, I think that's how he interpreted her. He's like, she's the one who got away, but she still went from one guy to the next. So she, he still acknowledges that he should have taken the leap. But, in some ways, it almost looked like a punishment.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
She even says to fucking what's-her-fuck, like, I've been waiting years for you. I've been waiting a long time for this.
Yes.
Yeah. But you got to remember, to be fair, he programmed that. So whether he programmed her to say that or that's really how she felt is kind of unknown, too. You know what I mean?
Or you can interpret it as that she is saying, I've been waiting years for you. Meaning, that's what he's been wanting to hear her say to him.
Right. That's what I kind of meant. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, but let's...
would she really have met her husband if it wasn't for Holiday?
Maybe.
No.
I don't... what's also unclear is how Ogden and...
how she met. And apparently he already knew her gamer name.
No. That's not what I was going to say, though. It's not clear on how Morrow and Halliday met, how they teamed up to create this thing. They could have been, I don't know if they were friends from childhood or what. They don't really get into that. So,
yeah, there's a lot of gray area in all this.
But it wasn't important enough to cover, I think. And to be fair, none of us have read the book, and all that might be covered in the book.
Okay.
I think I need to bite the bullet and just read the fucking book. Then
I think I need to bite the book and get the audio book because I'm not going to read it, but I'll listen to it.
And I'll just hear from you guys.
What?
You said I think I need to bite the book.
Oh, whatever. Anyway, so I'm on beer number 4 and drink number 5.
I think
so leave me
I'm
alone.
on my third drink as well.
Are you really?
I think I'm on like glass 7.
Oh my god!
You have the rocks glasses. They're not like full wine glasses.
Still a lot of alcohol.
Oh, Rico.
Damn, Rico. Now, what is your reasoning for this again?
For drinking?
It's Sunday.
It's Sunday and it's your day off, and you have to be at your niece's birthday party tomorrow by 11.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good.
I'd rather get shit faced earlier the day instead of late at night, where I'm gonna fucking.
You got to remember, it's only 5 o'clock out there. 5:30.
That's right.
Yeah, it's early for Rico.
I'm just playing with you, Rico. I'm just busting your balls a little bit.
Ow.
So we've been kind of dancing towards this part of the movie for a while now, but there's a really big part of the movie. And this is the part, Matt Granger, if you did listen up to this point, you need to stop. Cut it off now. But they do a big part centered around The Shining. Mm-hmm. And I've never seen The Shining, so you and Debbie have. So this is a great thing for you guys to kind of discuss because...
There's Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that, and I've seen the little girls at the end of the hall. Like, I've seen clips.
Red Rum, all that.
What's that?
Red Rum, all that.
Oh, that's what that's from. Okay, well, there you go. So,
Red
Rum. Red Rum
backwards, by the way, CJ, is murder.
It's murder. That I know, because there's actually a show on the Discovery Investigative show channel or whatever called Red Rum, and it's a murder show.
Well, that's kind of cool.
But the little boy comes up to his dad and his mother and points his finger out and goes, Red Rum. Red Rum. That's exactly how he sounds, and it's creepy as shit.
Rico, you're the impersonator on this show. Is she close?
No.
Okay. So anyway,
I think I remember that part.
It's close enough where it passes as an imitation, but
okay, red rum.
He like high pitches it towards the end. Red rum.
Oh, you know what? No, okay, never mind. I saw that. Never mind. Go ahead.
So, like H, I've never seen the movie, and H is like, is it scary? Now, I'm not dumb enough to know that I know it's scary, but
it's not that scary.
It's really not that scary. It's kind of like a mind fuck. Honestly,
it is. It's more of a psychological
watch
horror than an actual scare.
I think I'd rather watch a Jason movie than something like that. Honestly,
no,
but anyway.
I think the Jason would scare you more than The Shining would.
I don't know. Gothica fucked me up for like a week. Anyway, that's aside.
That's just because of Halle Berry's fucking atrocious acting. Let's put it that way.
Wait, Gotham?
Gothica.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
It's a psychological thing with Halle Berry.
Okay.
Anyway,
it was her getting ready to play fucking Catwoman.
Oh god, Catwoman was horrible. Don't ever bring that up again. It's not worthy. Yeah.
So how close to the movie is the scene where the scenery and the scene work and I mean, look, I noticed some liberties with the zombies towards the end and that kind of stuff. But how does it?
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Because you are like H, you haven't seen The Shining. Did you get all the references? Did you get it when you were watching it?
No, because I didn't understand I've never seen it. So the only I got the two girls at the end of the hallway. I knew that was a thing. So like I know about the two girls at the end of the hall. I kind of know the thing about the tennis ball, bouncing down the hall. And then I knew even though they didn't do the "Here's Johnny" thing, I know about the axe through the door and "Here's Johnny" and that's the extent of my knowledge with The Shining. And I mean, I know Jack Nicholson's
the elevator
in it.
full of blood, the walls bleeding, all that stuff. Yeah.
That doesn't mean shit to me. I don't know nothing about that.
The picture on the wall.
So the picture, so the picture of Halliday and her is a thing from the movie too.
Yeah, it's originally to spoil the ending of The Shining.
Yeah, by all means, because I'm never going to watch it. It
reveals the end shot shows the close up of that old school 1930 whatever the fuck
1920s
photo.
Something like that.
Yeah, and it shows Jack Nicholson in the photo in the front row.
And it's like all these people that have been like killed and murdered. And...
Yeah. Okay, all right. Yeah,
it's all the ghosts of the hotel, basically.
Yeah.
So it definitely captures the feel of the movie. And I read that Spielberg was close friends with Kubrick. So
he was. He finished AI. AI was a Kubrick movie. Kubrick shot like a quarter of it, I think, before he died, and then Spielberg finished it or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So no, they absolutely were. So
it was sort of because the Shining shit is not a book.
It's what?
Yeah, the Shining stuff was really spot on. It was not bad at all.
The Shining part was not in the book.
Oh, okay. So
really?
What did Michael tell you? Michael told you that? Because
Michael told me. So the whole second part was some other fucking thing. And then they include the Shining thing. I think in order to just take the audience out of the book. Because when people read the books like Harry Potter and then they change shit up, they're like, oh, well, that's not how it is. But at least it works. It really works with a movie. That's what I appreciate about it.
When we get to the third part, I have something to say. Let's continue with this, and then
the third key?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're not really doing them in order, but that's so. If you want to bring up your point,
you recognized something last night. Remember when he was saying something at the beginning of the Easter eggs when it was announcing?
Oh, right. So, yeah, I noticed this, Rico. How many times have you seen it? Ready Player One. So tell me if you remember this, and I can try to find a clip if you don't. But when Anorax, or better yet, when Halliday's giving the rules to the whole hunt for the Easter egg in the beginning, when they're showing that part, he says something about searching the dark room for the winning. Do you know what I mean? Do you remember him saying something like that?
Sometimes you can find it. It's not just hidden under a rock. It could be in a dark room or something.
Or something like that, right?
In your mind, in a maze. Yeah, I remember him saying that.
That's adventure. the third challenge. Yeah. He go to the dark room to find the Easter egg in adventure, which ultimately unlocks the third key. So in the rules in the opening rules, he tells you how to find the third challenge.
Yeah.
And it took till my like fourth viewing to catch. I was like, holy shit.
I only saw it for like 1.5 times, so I still had. There's so much more I need to catch.
This is like my fourth or fifth viewing at this point.
No, I caught that the second viewing.
Did you? Okay.
And I'd already done. I go every time. Usually when I go through a movie, I go on IMDb or Wikipedia or both and go through like trivia and factoids and shit like that.
Right.
So I actually had read that and then forgot about it and then remembered it when I saw that part of the game.
Okay. All right. Yeah, see, I haven't done that. Especially with a movie like this, because I want to try to find the Easter eggs, if you will, myself. No pun intended. But, like, I want to find those little hidden things on my own.
Sure.
And that's not to say anything negative about you going and doing that. But for me, it's with this, like, with other movies, like, say, like Harry Potter or, you know, Deadpool or something. Once I've seen the movie, I don't mind looking that kind of shit up. But something like this, I want to see. I want to try to find it on my own. Just because I think it's fun.
Sure, you want to do your own research.
Well, it's not. It's just because it's fun. You know what I mean? It's fun to watch it and see something you didn't see last time. You know?
I didn't notice that because I saw it again, and actually at one point I thought I saw something, and then I freeze framed it on my player, and it turns out it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It was some. They did a panning shot where it zooms in, it shows the armies closing in and attacking each other.
Okay.
And I thought I saw the great white shark from Jaws leap out of the rubble and the earth, attack somebody. But it turns out it was just some fucking weird beast thing. It may have been culturally significant, but I was like, ooh, is that Jaws? No, that's not Bruce. Sorry.
Well, and there's a lot of weird things like that. Like if you go back to the opening scene where Z's walking through whatever like hallway or street that he was on or whatever, and they do like that shot of other people walking around, there's a brown type creature, and I say that because it's like an animal of some nature dressed like Doc Brown from Back to the Future 2.
That's true.
It's got the yellow trench coat and the red and white spotted shirt, and then the tie and the silver sunglasses, the whole bit.
We have
Sorry
to get
about
back.
the noise. I'm still learning.
I'm saying I thought I was catching shit the second time, but I didn't catch any other pop culture references that I had the first time.
No.
Like nothing was new for me.
And maybe because I don't know, I wasn't looking for them. I don't know, but like for example, like I didn't catch the Han Solo belt until the second time I watched it. Like I knew he was wearing a belt.
That.
If you look at Z next time you watch him, it's Han Solo's belt. If you look at it, the way it's laid out, it's what Han would wear. I think the buckle's different because they wanted to put the Thundercats thing on it, but other than that, it's
I'll have to next time I rewatch it. I'll have to.
The only thing about it, the only thing about it is there's no gun in the holster. Like I'm pretty certain it's an empty holster at all times.
You know, there were guns in it, but not as much as I expected there to be. There was actually more swords than I initially thought. I initially thought there was going to be like more ray guns and shit like that. But it almost looked like, I don't know, I just expected more.
Weapons or something. Yeah.
Well, it's definitely older school weapons. You know, it's for what year it is. It's 2045, and you would think that. I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, like hell, if we're going by movie years, you know, the Back to the Future, we're already flying cars and stuff and paying for things with our thumb, which is pretty close if you use the iPhone.
But in that, I mean, Pizza Hut was delivering by your drone.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, totally was. And we're not that far from that because Amazon's trying to pull that off. So
I don't think we need to give Amazon any more fucking power, to be perfectly honest.
Well, that's a whole nother conversation. Yeah. But you know, they are trying. I think they are doing experiments with drone delivery for small items.
I just see that as being a bad idea.
There's drones everywhere. Like, we don't have any privacy at all anymore.
Well, that's a whole other conversation.
The movie, because everything is sort of private, but everything's also sort of out there. You know, they're like, don't reveal your name. It's like, well, why the fuck not?
Well, I mean, that was kind of a thing in Second Life, too. I mean, like, you very rarely ever gave out your real name. That was not a thing you did,
I would not be very good at that game because I'd be like, "Hi, I'm Rico." They're like, "We don't want to know your fucking name." I'm like, "Well, my screen name is Rico Sinatra."
My avatar is named Rico Sinatra.
Did I hear a fucking echo?
Yeah, he said the same thing.
I know he did. That's why I said it back.
Okay.
Okay. I thought you would I thought you just knew my avatar screen name and shit. I'm just
you said it.
How does she know so much about me?
Well, all you sing is Sinatra, and you are Rico. It's kind of easy to put it together.
I do know that about you.
I sang Tainted Love.
In the style of Sinatra.
No, I didn't. I sang it as Tainted Love.
So, anyway, I don't even know.
I'll deviate. I gotta give a shout out to the fucking villain. Ben Mendelsohn fucking killed it.
Wait, to who?
The villain, Ben Mendelsohn.
Oh, the guy who played Nolan Sorrento?
Yeah, dude, he fucking was awesome.
Yeah, speaking of villains, sort of, they couldn't take him out for obvious reasons, but T.J. Miller.
Yeah.
He's all but done in Hollywood, I think.
What is wrong with him again?
Well, it started that he was dating somebody, and apparently during sex, he was doing stuff like punching her in the face without discussing it first, because that's kind of how he got his rocks off. Some people are into slapping and choking and that kind of stuff, but you usually discuss that kind of shit before you do it. He wasn't. He was just kind of doing it. Right.
Yeah,
but
it's just
then
donkey punch.
Right, yeah.
Oh my god.
But then maybe you can back me up, Rico, I don't know, but I think it's spread out that some women are now saying it was flat out assault, right?
Well, it was at the same time he was getting a lot of flack for being drunk. What really started the whole thing was he made a bomb threat.
He did that too,
He did a bomb threat?
He was drunk on a plane, wanted to get off the plane, and so he made a bomb threat so he could get off the plane. Wasn't that? Am I close?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I think it was something like that. We may be wrong.
No.
That's how I remember.
No, he was going to miss the flight, wasn't he? And that's why he did it.
It was all the same. I don't remember the circumstances.
I'm actually blending two stories. So there was a bomb threat thing, and I don't remember the details of that. The other one was he got into a fight with a woman, not a fist fight, but a drunken argument with a woman. They both got thrown off the plane.
Yeah.
And so it's two separate things. The plane's one thing and the bomb threat's something else. But
so basically he has a substance abuse problem.
Yeah, and he's talked about that, but he's doing it very publicly, and that's what ended up really hurting him.
It's kind of like Andy what is that?
Oh, Andy Dick?
Andy Dick kind of thing.
Yeah, but Andy Dick actually assaulted somebody, if I recall, sexually assaulted somebody. Yeah. Where T.J. Miller, he punched, T.J. Miller punched this woman during sex, but it was somebody he was in a relationship with, so it doesn't necessarily make it right, but it's not just random sexual assault either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he didn't just go up to a hooker and punch her.
Yeah. So.
I was on Silicon Valley!
Yes. And he left that. I mean, that was even before any of this shit really hit.
I don't think he left that. I think he was shit canned. I think there was a difference.
No, Mike Judge has even said that he quit.
Well,
on Silicon Valley?
Yeah.
That's a shame.
I mean, to reiterate, I know you're leading for. It's I heard his whole voice and I kind of cringed because I had the same opinion when I watched Deadpool 2. Because Deadpool 2 was released right in the middle of the controversy, and I slurred that, right in the middle of all the T.J. Miller bullshit.
Right.
And so I was like, oh, God, I forgot he was in this fucking movie.
What a perfect movie for him to perform in, Deadpool 2.
Yeah, but I think, if Deadpool was real, I think that's the kind of guy he would have gone after. I don't think he would have been his friend. Deadpool would have probably gone after him.
If you remember, Deadpool 2, they kind of make his character less attractive on he immediately rats them out to Cable. So he's a weakling. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that was Ryan Reynolds being all right, you're definitely not coming for Deadpool 3, so we're going to segue out for you being an unlikable character. Not that he was a real likable character in the first one. He was emotional support.
He was in in a backwards kind of way.
I mean, to be fair, Deadpool himself is kind of a fucking, emotional piece of shit. You feel for him, but
well, no, I don't know if I agree with that.
Not necessarily. I mean,
he took a shit in someone's kitty litter box.
He said he did.
Oh, 100%
okay, who
he did.
cares if he took a shit in a kitty litter box?
You hear the toilet?
Who cares?
Wait, you hear the toilet flush?
I'm saying he's got a acerbic sense of humor.
But
Deadpool's
that's different
likable.
than just flat out being an ass.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's different than being a flat out ass. Having that kind of sense of humor doesn't necessarily mean you're just an ass.
I mean, he rolled over a guy with a fucking Zamboni.
That guy deserved it, though.
Yeah, I would agree.
He deserves to be fucking rolled over by a Zamboni.
That's kind of a wicked way to go, but hey, that's Deadpool. That's the character. That is what he's supposed to be.
It is it is perfectly content with the character and is spot on with the character. But even the character's name for T.J. Miller is what? Weasel?
Yeah.
He was not as weaselly as he was in the first movie as he is in the second movie.
But also, I mean, Deadpool shoved a sword up a guy's ass, too, in the second one.
Was it up his ass?
Yeah, I remember that when they were in, the spa, they were all in, hot tubs.
Oh, the Japanese bathhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he, the first guy he encounters, he shoves the sword up his ass.
That's right. Yeah.
It's just a Deadpool thing. That's what it is.
Did you see that scene?
His character is supposed to be ruthless, regardless, against evil.
And there also is some compassion. I mean, when he talks to Hawkeye, he lifts up his mask so Hawkeye can read his lips.
Well, in the comic, yeah. In the comic book, Hawkeye is deaf.
Mm-hmm.
So Deadpool, because he sympathizes with that, whenever he's talking and Hawkeye is in the room, he'll lift up the mask just enough so that he can see his lips, so that he can read his lips while he's talking.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a comic book thing.
But anyways, T.J. Miller, listening to his fucking voice, in some retrospect, I would have liked either them not to have him, or
well, you got to figure they shot that thing how long before everything came out. I mean, that movie's been in production for 2 years before it came out.
Yeah, but they could still have gone back and say, "Hey, T.J. Miller, we need to show you taking off your fucking mask." And be like, "What the fuck?" or something like that. Just just a little. I would have liked to have seen him or not heard him at all.
I can understand that. Seeing him as he was, granted as he was in the first one, if not.
Well, no, he's talking about Ready Player One.
Okay. That's where I got confused.
And here's the thing, and I don't know I don't know if there was a different cut at some point, but T.J. Miller's the only Avatar in the Oasis that is what you would call a main character that you never see in the real world.
Yeah.
And I almost wonder if they cut him out on purpose. If maybe there was a scene at one point where you did, and they just wiped that out. What?
That's what I was saying. I think Spielberg was like, nope, fuck it.
You can't cut him out because his character's too vital, so you can't cut him out of the whole story, but you can cut out any real face time for T.J. Miller. Now, that said, he's all over the extras, and I don't know if who gets control of that or who gets to say anything about that, but he's all over the extras.
I don't know. I mean, you could ask Matty Granger, who's in charge of extra bonus shit, because he was a part of that.
Yeah.
T.J. Miller, I did have one laugh out loud moment. It was like, wait, dude, you're not really going to do that. I have so much shit from over the years. I thought actually
inside me. Yeah. He had a couple fun. Look, here's the thing. I want to like T.J. Miller because I think he's a funny person. Forget the shit that he's done. I'm not excusing that, but in the sense of I've seen his stand up. It's fucking funny. I've always liked him when he was on Silicon Valley, which is my first exposure to him. And then in Deadpool and ultimately in this movie, and you get typical T.J. Miller lines when he's when he says to him, when Nolan's character in the Oasis says to him, "How are you?" He goes, "I've got this neck thing. It might be carpal tunnel of the neck or something of that." He's making these the neck jokes. That's a T.J. Miller kind of line. It almost makes me wonder if it was ad-libbed, but.
Spielberg doesn't really allow too much ad lib. So if that was an ad lib, it was maybe just one. Spielberg's very much like, because Spielberg is like in and out, like, let's film a scene, we're done.
Yeah.
Scorsese will let people ad lib, but Spielberg not so much.
And to your point about how he shoots movies, let's get behind the scenes for a minute. So it was really interesting because I was curious what they did with the H, especially once you find out that, as Deb mentioned earlier on, that it's it's an African American woman that is H in the Oasis, and in the Oasis he's like, like 8 feet tall or whatever, and
he's like 7'5" and like a jacked out black dude. Yeah.
And I was wondering how they handled that because, again, they did the mocap for, these actors. So, in the extra, what they showed is they did let her do all the mocap. It is her in the suit. And then to get the height, one of the things they did is, like, anytime she was walking next to, like, Z or somebody like that, they had, like, a platform. So she was standing on this platform. So that she would be higher. And then the voice is her, too. What they did is they let her just act with her normal voice and then dropped it in post.
A couple octaves.
Like a couple of octaves, yeah. So you still get all her personality.
Now, I had a theory, and I just confirmed that I was pretty spot on. In the book, the area that Wade lives in is in Oklahoma City.
Okay.
Now, in the movie, it's set in Ohio. In
Columbus, Ohio. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I had a theory that, because I haven't read the book, and I didn't know for sure until I just looked 30 seconds ago. But I remember Spielberg is from Ohio. I wonder if he changed it because he's from Ohio. And it turns out, yeah, pretty much.
Really? Well, but here's the thing.
He's from Cincinnati, not Columbus.
Right. But here's the other thing, too. Like, Ernie Klein wrote the screenplay. He actually wrote the screenplay before Spielberg was even attached. Now, that doesn't mean that changes can't be made. I get that. I'm not that naive. But, like, he was involved in all aspects of that movie. Like, he's, and there's lots of things, again, in the extras about him on set, him conversing with Spielberg, and not just like, hey, how you doing? Like, talking about scenes and what they're going to do. So, like, in my opinion, he gave his seal of approval to any of those changes if Spielberg did make them.
Yeah.
Like
the Shining bit.
Like the Shining bit, right. Or moving it from Oklahoma to Columbus or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think, all right, so that Twitch thing that you came and chatted on for a little bit that I did a couple weeks ago? One of the guys there and we were talking on, and I think you had already left or it was before you got there, about cover songs. And, we actually like it when a band, when they're doing a cover, they don't just do it note for note. And it was spawned off the fact that, I don't know if you know, but Weezer did a cover of Africa by Toto. So, and they did it almost note for note, tone for tone. They didn't really put their own spin on it. And I almost prefer it when a band puts their own spin on it. So same thing, if you're interpreting a book and turning it into a movie, put your own spin on it, like Spielberg, like changing it to Columbus, adding the Shining thing, whatever. But not completely just destroying the spirit of the story,
I can agree with that. I think the main reason that it worked for Ready Player One was because it's not a series. If it was a whole bunch of books, like let's say Harry Potter, the biggest bitch about Harry Potter is that a lot of people, they take out a lot of stuff and add and change shit that if they just followed the story, it would have been, better. But I think because there's a whole mythology to Harry Potter, there's not as much as one as Ready Player One. So I think they can fuck with and tweak it with one book as opposed to a whole series. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And again, if they do a second book, like we were talking about earlier, then maybe they get the opportunity to tweak it again. You look tired, honey. You want to go to bed, lay down?
Yes, actually, I'm going to let myself go from this conversation.
All right, hon.
I had a lot of fun, and I appreciate everybody listening. And Rico, good night.
Good night, Debbie.
And good night, honey. I'll see you shortly in bed.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So, yeah, if you're going to put your own twist on things, then, I mean, I'm fine with that. Especially if the writer of the book is on set and kind of giving his seal of approval. Why is that such a bad thing? You know what I mean? And the same thing with Harry Potter, like you referenced. Wasn't J.K. Rowling basically on set for all the movies, if not?
Yeah, but they still took a lot of liberties with a lot of shit. Like, personally, I would like to see... Let's not get into the
Harry Potter tonight, but I'm just saying, like, she was there, though, to, like...
She was there, yeah. But personally, for something like Harry Potter, I'd rather see a show. I'd rather see every season cover one book. And they stretch it out. They include as much as they can from the book.
Right.
Because the fans will have nothing to bitch about. I've said it before many times in this podcast. The worst thing about a subject is the fans. It's the best thing and the worst thing, and...
Right, but at the same time, like, people are going to complain no matter what. Like, that's going to happen. People are going to bitch and complain no matter what. You could have 20 seasons to spill out every second, every word, every sentence in those books, and someone's going to complain about something.
Sure, they're going to complain about who's casting and who's directing. Oh, this doesn't feel like this. This didn't feel like my interpretation of the book. Sure,
right.
Of course that. But at least if they put every detail, or at least if they follow each chapter with an episode, then that's fine. I think that would be better. Because going back to the fourth book, I was like, they should have split this in two. Because they left out so much shit that I wanted to see. So, I get it. It's a double-edged sword. But for Ready Player One, it's just one book. And if the author was like, you know what, fuck it. Fuck with my shit. Have fun. Because I'm pretty sure there's a lot more Spielberg references in the book than there is in the movie. Obviously.
Probably.
So,
yeah.
But that goes with what I'm saying before. It's like Spielberg he could have fallen in that category of being like, I'm just going to self-reference all my shit. So they had to like pick and choose a lot of shit that wasn't his, which is why I think there was a lot more obscure pop culture references. There was Freddy Krueger. There was fucking the Japanese shit. There was fucking, the
Bart.
T-Rex. There was King Kong. Bart, yeah.
There was, and Honda and Batman and, all kinds of stuff. There was Overwatch. There was all right, we got to talk about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for a fucking minute because I had a problem with that one.
I still haven't seen them.
They're there. They're in the final battle, the big main battle on that ice planet or whatever. And you're looking for the wrong thing. I guarantee you, and I don't mean that as a shot at you, Rico, but I think I know why you're having trouble finding them. So I'll tell you when to look for them. There's a scene where what's his female henchman's name? The Sorrento's that.
I never caught her. She was kind of a useless character for me personally.
Right. Well, anyway, at one point she's driving down the street trying to find where Samantha is and where the van is, and they see people just on the street, like, I don't want to use the word fake fighting, but they're not fighting anybody on real life because they're fighting in the game, but you know what I'm talking about?
Right. Yeah.
And there's these 4 kids doing these like karate moves, and then it transfers to in the game, and it's the Ninja Turtles. The reason you're not recognizing them, I think, is because it's the fucking Ninja Turtles from the Megan Fox movie. It's not our Ninja Turtle.
Oh, that could be it. Yeah, when I think of Ninja Turtles, I think of the Jim Henson ones.
Jim Henson?
Yeah. The movies, like the first 3 movies?
No, if they were going to do Ninja Turtle, yeah, they could have done those. But if they were going to do Ninja Turtle, they should have done fucking a variation on the animated series.
Oh, well, there's that too. But when I think of Ninja Turtles, I think of the live action Jim Henson puppetry.
Was that Henson?
It was, yeah. Well, he didn't direct it, but
he did he did the costumes because they were costumes. Well, there were people in those.
He was dead by the time the second one.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was his workshop.
You're right. The Henson workshop. Yeah. You mentioned Harry Potter earlier. I want to, because I think we're getting ready to wrap this thing down, but I wanted to give some a preview that we're going to potentially be getting a guest on. I don't want to say soon, but in the future, who is big into the Harry Potter books. Deb as well, but this is somebody else. And she actually saw the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child on Broadway.
Oh.
So she's going to be able to add to that part of the story. Are you familiar with that thing?
I never saw it. I didn't read the book, but I read the synopsis on Wikipedia, and I'm just like, fuck this. This does not feel like part of Harry Potter. It feels like a fan fiction bullshit. I refuse to acknowledge that's Harry Potter.
Well, Rowling wrote it for one, but the other thing is what?
Rowling gave her, like, she consulted on it. Another guy wrote it, and she and
you're right.
Get permission.
Okay. Yeah. No, you're right. But look, it's what happens after Harry Potter, and I'm kind of curious to see that. So anyway, that's it. I'm never going to see the play because I don't have that kind of money. But I'm curious to let her kind of give her synopsis of it. So it'll be cool to have that added to it, even if you don't think it's a thing. So.
Okay.
But, anything else you want to say? Oh, this has been a train wreck. Anything else?
It has not been a train wreck, CJ. Look, I think it was a great introduction for Debbie and me because we hadn't spoken to each other. I think she'll get the hang of it for future episodes.
Yeah, probably.
I think it was very much a spur of the moment, like, hey, fuck it, let's get her on, and then you're like, all right,
definitely. And thank you for coming on. We mean that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else you want to say, or do you feel like we need to cover with this movie before we call it a night?
I think I need to order a fucking pizza. That's what I think I need to say.
Yeah, we've been at this for a long time. It may not seem like it to you people, but believe me.
Fucking day.
So
we start at 2. It's now 7:36.
Yeah, how do you think I feel?
Oh, fuck you.
Well, fuck you. CJ here with a few thank yous and to let you know how you can get in touch with and follow the show and us. For PodAskew, go to iTunes, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts on your iPhone, and Google Play Music on your Android phone to listen to, subscribe, rate, and comment on the show, or the Listen Notes podcast search engine at www.listennotes.com. Go there, type in PodAskew, all one word, and you can stream us right there. If you want to agree with or yell at us directly, follow Rico, me, and the show on Twitter. The show is at PodAskew, Rico is at RantsRico, and I'm at M_Blade. If you need to contact the show for promotional reasons, tweet Stephanie at PodAskewPR. Check out Rico's YouTube channel, Rico's Rants, on YouTube at www.youtube.com/Rico's Rants. Thank you to Dubbed in English for our opening theme music, 96 Reasons. They're no longer online, but you can contact me for a copy of the full song or the whole Plan 9 EP. Thank you to Samuel Lemons for our closing music, Theme Askew. You can find his music on SoundCloud at www.soundcloud.com/Samuel-Lemons. Finally, our biggest thank you is to you, everyone, for listening. Rico and I really appreciate your time and look forward to bringing you another episode soon.
Damn it! PodAskew.